Uh, what's up, guys? Really quickly, and I'll explain the mask in a moment. But I wanted to make a couple of points. My life has always been interesting, right? So the last couple of days, I've been like super duper down, sick. I think like just borderline. I had like this whole side of my face was just swollen, and I had like an abscess, and my dental professionals like were just like, yeah, just stick to the appointment that we're gonna have. And I'm like explaining to them that look, I have unmanaged pain. I have swelling that is going up into my head and I cannot function. And so finally I called them. I said, look, I feel like I'm gonna die here. I have never had a pain like this before. And I got in an emergency today. And like before then, I literally was in so much pain. My neighbor was like, you can't wait into that appointment. Like, that is bad. So, like, I got some antibiotics, and the swelling definitely went down, and it helped with the pain management. And so now I kind of look like Alvin and a chipmunk on the side of my mouth. And so they're going to extract that tooth that is being problematic on Monday. But, here's the thing. I was working with an older doctor today, and we were just kind of talking about like my dental plan and stuff. And I'm like, well, we knew that those back teeth needed to be extracted, and yet the person that was managing this plan wanted to prioritize like a deep cleaning. And I'm like, we did that, but like I didn't understand why the back teeth weren't prioritized first, because it was only going to escalate into what I'm going through now. And the dentist agreed with me. And that is why, and this is an older gentleman that I was working with today, the dentist that went through all my testing and review a couple of months ago, this was a younger person. And I'm saying this to say that I'm not going to discredit all young healthcare professionals, but many of them are in it to have a title or whatever kind of authority, and they are not investigative. These people are not investigative, and a lot of them are even asking the patients, what do you want to do? And that's just not the healthcare that I grew up with, and it's just an indication of how unqualified many people are in across the healthcare spectrum, and even down to mental health care. It's interesting. During COVID, I was working at a firm, and part of our insurance was, oh, you get this free mental health thing. So, I called these people just to kind of see what was going on, like what the services were like. I was talking to this girl almost as if I was her therapist. And she was asking me how I was able to get over all these things without being tormented. And it's like, why are you asking me these questions? Like, I'm like, well, you get to a point where you kind of realize that moments, even traumatic moments, are what they are. And they can dictate subsequent moments of your life if you let them. And she's like, wow, that was so profound. And I'm like, mental health, the industry is like such a joke to me. It is such a joke. I feel like everything in America institutionally, across institutions, is a joke. It's just a big joke to me. I mean, you have Adidas, right? And I've talked about this before. If you follow me on Substack, you've heard me say this before, that ESG objectives that are being executed across companies are being executed so stupid. It's almost like these companies are trying to taunt the people that have bought into them for so long. And it's ridiculous to me. It really hurts people, in different ways. And I just, it's just, I don't understand why so many companies are staying the course. And I'm not saying that, like, for example, Adidas. Like, if Adidas would have made that a, unisex or trans-specific line, I don't think people would have had a problem. But to put that line, we're the women, to like really manipulate society into believing and conceding that these men with whole balls and cock in their female swimsuit are women and belong in the women's section. And again, you know, here's the thing: trans people, they exist. Nobody has a right to infringe on their ability to be able to get work and employment. And some of them are models, right? Some of them are models, right? And ambassadors, right? And I don't think that people should be outraged that companies are using trans people. But how are you using trans people? In what context are you using trans people? And if many of these companies really sat with themselves, they will realize that they are executing their ESG objectives the absolute wrong way. And what they are absolutely doing is they are taunting, mocking their consumer base. And again, if stakeholder capitalism is all about we don't care about what the regular retail person thinks or care about or believes, then fine, stay the course. We see how that's working out with Anheuser-Busch. But it does add unnecessarily volatility, in the markets, in social and political spaces. These objectives are being executed absolutely wrong. And to me, force feeding ideas and cultures down people's throats is not the way to lend understanding. I've talked to so many trans people who believe that all this craziness is actually more of a threat to them than ever before. They were happy living their private lives, actually working in their private sector jobs without their lifestyles being this platform of exploitation. And so I feel like these companies are doing this wrong. They're actually causing more harm to the trans community than they are doing good. And for these crazy, progressive, on the bandwagon of ignorance trans people, you're really trying to appease their mental health issues. Because a lot of trans people who are truly trans and who are not on some bandwagon trend, these people, they're like, what are you people doing? Like, why are you trying to target children? Do you understand that I did not want to be this? This is something that it just happened to me, and it's very rare. It's very rare for people to be influencing something that truly is a mental health issue for a very small group of people. It's disgusting. It's so disgusting. Check out my article on Substack where I talk about chimerism, right? Because I don't want people to have the mindset that I'm this anti-trans person. It's like, look, I know people have mental dysphorias. I know that they're dealing with, people are dealing with different respective things. But what I don't endorse is these people superimposing those issues on children and society. And I'm very firm on that. And there are many of them that are not. So Adidas, like the rest of them, you got it wrong. Because if you continue to think that fusing trans-identified men, trans women, men living as women, you're going to continuously miss the mark and piss off your customer base. So that's all I got for you guys. I've taken my antibiotics, I've taken my painkillers, and I feel a lot better, so good that I'm actually able to do this video. But hopefully I can, this is what's like all swollen. It was going up into my head a couple of days ago, so I'm so glad it didn't. So now I'm just dealing with my Alvin and the Chipmunk. Have a good day. Bye.